Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Friday, October 11th. Happy Friday, everyone. 6:23 right now. Market's gonna open in about 7 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Just got a few things here to update. And we should be good to go. All right, that's good. We have this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. All right, link sent out there. Looks like we are good to go. So as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here. All right, going to the 8 hour. Going up to the 4 hour. Jump up to the 1 hour. Going to the 30 minute. On to the 15 minute. 10 minute. And back down to the 1 minute. All right, guys, looks like we are good to go. So good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, October 11th. Happy Friday, everyone. 6:26 right now. Market's going to open up in about 4 minutes. As you guys know, I'm not taking the breakout today. I'm on a pause right now from taking the breakouts because of the current stats. So you guys understand my whenever there's two back-to-back losses, which we had on Tuesday, Wednesday, I don't take a trade until we have one more win, until the week ends. So we had a loss yesterday for the breakout, which I didn't take. So that means today I can't take the breakout. I will mark up the breakout and I'll give you guys a direction, but I won't be taking it myself. So it's just really up to you guys whether you guys want to take it. It was kind of expected yesterday, because if you guys remember, we talked about how like when high impact news happens, usually the breakout has issues because there's manipulation pre-market. Again, for today, there's high impact news this morning at 5:30. It was PPI news right here, producer price index. So again, another reason for there to be a possible issue with the breakout. So this week hasn't been so great. I posted up the stats, so you guys see my stats over here. These are my current stats for the month so far. So for the week, we have one net loss. And for the month, in total, we only have two losses at or actually we have two losses and 5 wins. So 5 wins total, two losses, but only one net loss from this week, and then three net wins from the whole month in general, or last week, I guess. So total profit right here is 4,254. That's including commissions and the losses. So total profit of 7,485, total loss of 3,165, and a net profit of 4,254. So we're doing pretty good for the month so far, with regard to overall profits, and that's thanks to to the risk off plan that I'm using. So I'm able to maintain a lot of profits for the month, and that's kind of the goal here. The goal here is really to be profitable long term. Some weeks are going to be slower than others. Like this week's been a lot choppier than the previous week, and I'm able to basically withstand those drawdown moves. So, all right, guys, let's see who's here so far. Morning, CJ. Morning, Jamie. Morning, Karen. Morning, Johnny. Morning, Steven. Morning, Adam. Morning, everybody. Looks like market's going to open up in about 2 minutes, so I'll give you guys the direction in the Zoom chat shortly. I already have an idea of where it's going to be, so the next 15 seconds I'll post it up. Again, I'm not going to take the trade. I'll be following it, and we'll be looking at how it plays out, but I won't be taking it myself. Hey, Brock, morning. I'm done trading for the week, basically. All right, so direction for the breakout has been posted. If you guys want to take it, feel free to take it. I'm going to follow it and document it for our documentation purposes, but I will not be taking it myself. So just a reminder, guys, not taking it on my end, but yeah, it looks like it's going to be a good trade. If I'm using the confluence over here, we had an Asia session, bearish direction with slight range towards the end. We had so basically bearish Asia session, rangy manipulated London session, and then New York reversal. So if we're going to use that confluence there, it's going to line up with the entry for today. So if you guys want to take it, feel free. I'm not going to take it again. I'm just going to follow it. I'm hoping this one here wins, and then it'll be a clean slate for Monday, where I will be taking the entry. So, all right, guys, market is about to open in about 3 seconds, and market is now open. So here goes breakout. We got some slow movement here, so we'll see what happens in the next couple of minutes or so. But there goes the setup. So I'm not in the position, guys. Again, I'm just following it here. I guess we'll come back and take a look at this in a few. That entry marked up right there. So here's where it becomes a little tricky. If you're looking for some market flow V2s, I mean, technically you can. I'll clean this up on this chart, so we'll have this one cleaned up. I'll just come back to the breakout chart over here to take a look, whenever it moves around. But you can see right here, price is currently at this session. So like this is an area of manipulation. This could possibly just bounce off here and come right back down. And that's pretty much what's happening right there. So the breakout's currently running, it's in profit. Again, we'll come back and take a look at this a little later. I'm not in this position, guys. Again, if you guys are just joining, I'm not in the position because I can't take it right now. And I can't take it because I'm following my risk plan. Basically, 2 back-to-back losses, can't take a trade until we have a win. This gives you the idea of like the market not moving in your favor. So I think this risk plan will work with a lot of different strategies as well. Mainly for breakouts because it's kind of day by day versus trade by trade. But it's super helpful because after taking those losses on Tuesday, Wednesday, I kind of understood that the market wasn't moving the direction that I needed to move. So that's why I was able to just prevent myself from getting caught in more losses. So looking at this right here, we have a liquidity that got hit. So if you guys took that first level of liquidity right there, I think that's one of Jamie's favorite entries. Jamie was telling me that she was having a bit of a hard week this week with liquidity, which I do understand because obviously you can see how crazy the market's like currently moving. So liquidity right there got hit. Next level of liquidity right here also got hit. So if you guys took any of these 2 levels of liquidity, this first one right here hit for a full TP. And then this one right here as well. The second one hit for a full TP right there as well. Our price again here is at the sessions. So price was at the lower sessions here, and now it's at the sessions above. See if the breakout's still running. It's like at the last leg right there. So yeah, it looks like the breakout didn't play out for today. So I'm glad I didn't take the breakout entry. Like I said, the risk plan is doing what it's supposed to do. So again, if you guys are not familiar with the risk plan, basically the risk plan is if I have two back-to-back losses, I can't take a trade until a win happens, right? So the breakout loss for Tuesday, Wednesday, I didn't take those. Well, I did take those trades. Those are the only losses that counted for me for this week. And then yesterday and today. So basically what happens when there's two back-to-back losses indicates that the market is not moving in the direction that we need it to for the breakout entry, right? So it kind of gives you a heads up like, hey, it's not working right now, so don't use it. So it's better to just sit out of the market. So again, it didn't play out today and yesterday, but I didn't take these trades, so that worked out for us. So instead of taking a loss, I just ended up sitting out of the trade. So works out for us right there. And I'll add this to the spreadsheet. This thing's climbing pretty high. All right, so I'll be adding this to the spreadsheet over here. So I put note here, did not take this trade, only posting for documentation purposes for breakout entries. And then I'll also post it in the spreadsheet as well for the documented trades. So this here again, it's basically the same setup as yesterday, it looks like. Yeah, pretty much same setup as yesterday. So yesterday was also a buy. Oh, it was actually a sell. Yesterday was a buy, today was a sell. So there's no direction today or this week. You guys can see this week was a really tricky week compared to last week. So last week we had straight wins over here, all wins. And then on Monday we had a win. And then Tuesday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, we had a loss that I took. And then Thursday, Friday over here were losses as well. So from the spreadsheet over here, you guys can see that basically there's going to be time periods where you have a bunch like losses that are kind of bunched up like that, but they only happen like maybe once every couple months. So I'm glad that we're shaking this out right here so that when you go back into the win streak, we pretty much avoided a lot of the unnecessary losses right there. So, all right, if you guys are looking for some entries here, it is 636 right now. The next entry will be a market flow V2 if prices pull back down to this area right here. It's not time to take the bigger move yet, but if you guys want to take the smaller move, there's a possibility of a entry to come up over here. So if you want to take a market flow V2, the entry is going to happen right here at the 860 mark. This is a 10-point move. Once you hit 640, you can start looking for that bigger move. But as of now, current move will be a 10-point move. All right, so the profits pretty much sat pretty nice this week, or for this month in general. So you guys remember my stats over here. We'll go over the stats again a little later so I can show you guys kind of what we did for last week and then moving on to this week and then moving on to the following week. It's a lot of news today. Well, there was news this morning and news yesterday. Let me check if there's any other news coming up. There's another high impact news coming up right here at 7 o'clock. 6:45, we have Fed gold to be speaking. And then at 7 o'clock, we have Michigan consumer sentiments. We do have some news coming up over here at 7 o'clock where you want to be a little careful for entry. So again, if you guys are looking for entries here for market flow V2, entry is going to happen right here at the 860 mark, 42,860. The problem here again is the same thing that's been happening pretty much this entire week. So if you guys remember, we talked about this yesterday and the day before and pretty much this whole week. The issue with the market this week compared to last week is that we're in a consolidation, right? We just kind of go into a range. Price will push into an area and then it'll just start ranging. In order for you to take market flow, you need price to be flowing in the direction. So you need price to be flowing to the upside, or you need price to be flowing to the downside, right? Until this happens, the market flow V2s aren't necessarily supposed to be taken. So with the market going sideways like this isn't exactly the best time to take market flow V2s. So if you guys want to take the trade, feel free to take the trade. I don't necessarily recommend it, but if you want to take it, I'm not going to stop you guys from taking these entries. So I'll look for the market flow V2s as they come up, but right now, they still don't have opportunity here for entry, especially because the volatility here is so low. And then on top of that, if the sell signal here comes up, there's no more entries here for any buys. So if you were looking to take that 10-point move, looks like it would have filled right here already. It's pushing up to its TP, full TP right there. So if you took over 10 points, market flow V2 right there, hit full TP. The entry happened right there at the 860 mark, like I said. And if you had your pending order there, would have filled it right away and shot straight to your TP. So there goes the first one right there for market flow V2 if you guys are looking to take it. It's about to be 640 right now, so you can start looking for the bigger move. Entry point is likely to happen a little bit higher at the 870 mark. Now, if you want to take the trade here, you can take three different options. You can do the 60-30. You can do the 30-30. Or you can do the smaller move, the 10-30. Just really, it's up to your preference. Whatever you guys feel like doing, whatever you guys feel like taking, feel free to take any entry here with any parameters that you guys want to take. So for me personally, I would use this bigger move as a confluence. I wouldn't necessarily take it standalone. And I would just double dip, quadruple dip as many times as I can with the 10-point move. So it's up to you guys, your guys' preference. If you guys want to go for the smaller move, feel free. If you want to go for the medium move, you can go for the 1-to-1, 30-30. If you want to go for the bigger move, you can go for the 60-30. It's just really up to your preference. Price moves up higher and the pivot's moving up to this next level here. So the next level is going to be at the 880 mark. So entry has moved up to the 880 mark right there. Again, there's not really much direction here. You can see price is really just going sideways. So this isn't really the best case scenario for a market flow V2. If you guys want to take it, feel free to take it. Otherwise, you guys can kind of sit back and just wait for the next opportunity here to come up a little later once the market is actually moving in direction. So again, the entry is going to be right there at the 880 mark. But this is the move that you guys want to see. You want price to be climbing, retracing, and then climbing further. This is the type of move that you're looking for. Since this isn't happening right now, it's kind of tricky to be taking entries here because the move that's actually happening is breakout, consolidation, breakout, consolidation, breakout, consolidation, right? So it's not really a smooth move. But if you guys want to take it, it's really up to you. I'm not taking these entries here. Like I said, I'm mainly focusing on the breakout entries. So the only thing that I'm looking to take are breakouts. And because our risk plan was triggered this week, I just didn't take any breakouts since yesterday. So no breakout entries for me on Thursday, no breakout entries for me today. I'll be taking a breakout entry on Monday though, as we start off a fresh week. All right, so we got price kind of climbing up a little higher. The entry is now a little bit higher right here at the 890 mark. So I'll keep checking it to see where it pushes through to. But again, if you guys are looking to take these market flow V2s, entry is now at the 890 mark. If it keeps climbing higher, it's going to be right here at the 900. Currently right now it's still at the 890. All right, so price is climbing up slightly higher. Not quite, but slightly higher. There goes the next target right there. If price climbs up higher from where it's currently at. Entry's still at the 890 mark. So again, if you want to take it for the full move is going to be a 60-point TP, 30-point stop loss. If you want to take it for the medium move, it'll be a 30-point TP stop loss. If you want to take it for the smaller scalp, it'll be a 10-point TP, 30-point stop loss. So looks like this here would have gotten filled now. So the 10-point move, well, pretty much all the moves here have been filled at this point. But again, like I said, there's no direction here. Price is just going back and forth within this consolidation zone. So not exactly the market conditions you want for market flow. You want price to be moving like this. But this is pretty much what's happening. Price spikes up, hard consolidation, spikes down, hard consolidation, spikes up, hard consolidation. This isn't the type of market conditions you want for the market flow. So I don't think anybody took the position here, but if you guys did take it, I think it's still running right now. So at this point right here, I would close out at break even, guys, or close out for a small profit. The sell signal came up, so I would close out for a small profit right here as it pushes back up higher. You guys have an opportunity here to close out for a small profit, because once the sell signal comes out, you're supposed to get out of this position as soon as possible. If you didn't get out right away, it's now back in profit. So you can pull out for a small profit. Next, what you'll have to do is wait for a buy signal to come back up, and then look for that market flow to start continuing back up in that direction. So I don't know if anybody took the position here, but if you guys did take the position, again, you have to close out either for a small profit or a small loss. Price is, it's just pretty much sitting right here at the entry point. So, and right there again, if you want to exit, you have opportunity to close out here for a small profit, guys. So I'd recommend closing out for a small profit there and then just waiting for the buy signal here to come back up. Because you can't be in this position if the opposite sell signal is in position right now. This could be an indication of a reversal. So we'll keep looking for the correction back to the upside. Otherwise, if the price reverses the other way, then we'll look that way as well. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to mark up new zones. It doesn't really matter. There's no new zones up here. Actually, there's a couple right here. So see if there's any upper zones. No, not really. All right, so I've marked up the zones over here. Not much has really changed from yesterday. And here we go, as price starts to consolidate. So same thing, it's basically the same concept as what's been happening pretty much all week, guys. This is why the breakout isn't really working out very well, because there hasn't really been much of a direction, any consistent direction, right? So this is pretty much what happened yesterday. This is what happened on Wednesday. Price would just break out to the one direction, and then it would just go sideways. There's no continuation here. So the next thing that would happen here is another breakout. So I'd expect price to go sideways here for a bit, either break out to the upside or break out to the downside, and then do the same thing. Sideways, 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 right? So I'm glad that we're following the risk plan out that I set out for us, because this pretty much avoided a lot of unnecessary losses that I would have eaten for this week. I think that was a problem before. So if you guys remember before, we were doing really well with the breakout V3. Back in February, we were doing really, really good with the breakout V3. Let me check the stats real quick. Like, we have such a good win streak. Yeah, so right here, you can see in March, we had such a crazy win streak, right? We had a win streak, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we had an 11-day win streak for the breakout V3 in March. And then it started to like kind of I mean, it didn't do horribly, but we started to have a couple losses right here. See, like in this situation right here, we could have avoided a couple losses, like whenever we had these back-to-back losses. So I mean, if you guys want to go back and like revisit the breakout V3, the breakout V3 was a really good strategy. There was two different strategies that we were doing around that time. It was a PRB and the breakout V3 strategy. So looking over here at the PRB strategy, same thing could have been done. It could have been fixed where the criteria could have been, kind of changed over a little bit. So I mean, if you guys ever want to go back and revisit any of the breakout strategies and then implement the risk off strategy or the risk off plan where you start to take a break after two losses, I think you would have survived a lot of the drawdowns that would have happened during certain months. So yeah, there's just no entries here right now. Price is going sideways. I wouldn't recommend taking, even if a buy signal did come up, I wouldn't recommend taking any market flow V2s because price here is just going sideways. It's not really flowing in either direction. In order for you to take some sells, you need to have price flow in the direction to the bottom side, like that. And then vice versa, if you're going to take some buys, you need price to be flowing in the direction to the upside. But we don't really have that here right now. You can see price is really just going back and forth sideways. So the only strategy that I could really recommend taking if you want to keep trading during this type of market would be V1 variation. So for example, there's a V1 variation that happened right here, double body rejection. And that could have been a quick sell right there for you. You guys are looking to take the sell, right? Again, right here, we have another setup. Double body rejection right here for a V1 variation for a buy. If you want to take this here for a buy, that could be a possible setup for you right there as well. Probably go for like a 15-30. Keep it at a 2-to-1. Just to keep yourself within the 30% criteria. So I think for your entries, guys, if you guys want to take entries for the smaller scalps, you might want to bump it up a little bit to like 15. Or if you want to stick to the 1030, feel free to stick to the 1030. So nothing going on here, guys. Price is just going sideways within these two price points. So the range is pretty much between the 900 mark right here and the 850 mark right here. About a 50-point range. And it's likely to just keep pushing within this area. It might come out, fake out right here, come right back up, might come up a little bit, fake out right here, come right back down. All right, looks good here. Yeah, there's just nothing going on here, guys, at the moment. So there actually hasn't been a breakout V3 come up yet for the day. I think that was a problem with the breakout V3 a lot of the times is that it didn't happen every day. So you couldn't really pull as much data as you would for something like the breakout we're taking now, the momentum breakout on open. Because for the momentum breakout on open, it happens every day, regardless of the fact. So you can take data on it every day, and you can figure out, how the patterns work. And for my pattern, the risk plan works perfectly with it. Uh, Looks like there was a PRB entry right here too. So if you guys remember the PRB entry, it actually happened right here on this green candle. Price pushed away, retraced, and then it came right back up. PRB is basically the pullback retracements. We had price push in this direction, price retraced on this candle right here on the open, and then push back up right here on this one. So the entry for the PRB would have been right here. The PRB actually happens like pretty much every day. So if you want to go back and take a look at the PRB, let's take a look at the PRB from yesterday, actually. It's kind of curious to see if it hit over here as well. So the PRB from yesterday, market open right here, came down. So the PRBs are a little tricky because it happens like right on open. So like this one over here, actually, yeah, this thing came down, came back up. Rejection happened right there. I mean, it could have happened all on this one candle right here. Yeah, PRB hit from yesterday too. So if you guys want to go back and retest those strategies, and then if you guys want to document it and then also use a risk off plan with the back-to-back losses, I think it'd make a huge difference. Let me just take the check the PRB from Wednesday. I'm gonna stick to my game plan though. I'm not changing strategies. I'm just kind of curious to see how here I move through. So where it came down. This one here looks like it would have been a loss, most likely. Yeah. All right, so back to the chart. Again, there's not really too much going on here. We now have a buy signal, guys. So if you guys are looking to take some market flow V2s, I wouldn't really recommend it, but I'll mark them up as they come up. So there's one that came up right here. Price came up, retraced. Entry would have happened at the 880 mark right here. We'll look for the next one. Again, like I said, I'm not really recommending it to anyone because there's no market flow happening here, right? Price is still going sideways. So it's not exactly the best time to take these entries because you need price to actually be flowing in a direction. So if they do come up, I'll mark them up here. So again, if you want to take the entry would happen right here at the 880 mark. If it climbs up higher, entry will happen right here at the 890 mark, but right now it's going to be at the 880 down here. So this is where the market flow V2 would come up. Since the bigger move was a flop earlier, you would just go for the smaller move here for the 10 points. And then we have news coming up over here at 7 o'clock. 6:45 was the Fed Goolsby speaking. So it wasn't really like a news release. It was just the Fed speaking. And then we have a high impact news again over here with consumer sentiment at 7 o'clock, Michigan consumer sentiment. So again, if you guys are looking to take that market flow V2, entry would happen right here at the 880 mark. So what you're looking for here is you're looking for price to come down sharply, fill the order, and come right back up very quickly. The only problem here is that price is going sideways, so it's kind of hard for you to have those type of movements where price comes down and fills because it's not really doing that. It's kind of just going back and forth, back and forth. So it can still fill, but the problem with this here is that you're not getting that climbing push that you're looking for here, right? This is what you want. You want price to push up, retrace, take your entry at the bottom part. Again, price push up, retrace, take your entry at the bottom part again. Essentially, that's what you're looking for. All right, still no entry fill there. So now the entry is going to happen right here at the 890 mark. Pivots right here. It's a little bit higher now. We got news in about 2 minutes. So I probably wouldn't recommend taking any entries here, guys. We have news coming up right here in about 2 minutes. So I'll probably just hold off on taking anything right here. Or I'll hold off on showing you guys any entries. Did you guys want to get caught in the possible price spike that'll happen over here at 7 o'clock? So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. There's not really too much going on here in the chart. It's pretty much the same thing that's been happening since Tuesday, Wednesday. Tuesday, the market started to slow down a little bit, and then Wednesday became a little more apparent, right? So like this type of market movement is pretty much what happened on Wednesday. So this is just a sign that this is not a good time to be taking any trades in general. So not a good time to take breakouts, not a good time to be taking market flow entries, not a good time to be taking many entries because well, the only entry I can really say that would be okay to take in these types of market conditions would be the V1 variation. So like, for example, the V1 that happened right here that I showed you guys earlier, looks like it hit TP already. Yeah, so if you did the 1530 for the V1 variation right here that I marked up earlier, like just a few minutes ago, it hit full TP right there. So the only strategy that I would probably recommend taking during these types of conditions would be V1 variations. The reason for that is because V1 variations are reversal patterns. And if you're trading within a range like this, you can catch the reversals on the opposite ends, right? So if you're just looking for V1 variation patterns, basically whenever you see a V1 from the top side that's valid, you can take that for a quick sell, right? And then vice versa, if you see a nice V1 variation pattern from the bottom end, you can take that for a buy, vice versa. So it goes both ways, right? In a sideways market, the strategy that you typically want to look at would be like V1 variation patterns or CB patterns. Those are probably gonna be the best options for you. Those are the best options because those are going to indicate reversals. Like for example, CB pattern right here, right? Bottom with red candle, smaller green candle. It's sort of been a nice entry right there for a CB. With 15 points right there. So just keep that in mind, guys. I think what I'll do is I'll probably update the course a little later, just kind of to segregate things so that you guys know which strategies to use during which types of market conditions. So obviously directional strategies, you're going to have like MPS, market flow V2, pivot scalp, liquidity, etc. For sideways markets, you want to be trading the CB pattern, V1 variation, V2 variation, V3 variation, etc. It's pretty simple. There's just like two different types of strategies to really use during different types of market conditions. And then that's pretty much it. And then other than that, the breakouts. The breakouts are the third category of entries, but those don't really fall within the market conditions. It's really just choosing a breakout that you like. All right, so we got the news right here at 7 o'clock. Didn't really push price too much. It's high impact news. So if you guys are looking to take some more of these, if you guys are looking to take some more of these market flow V2s, we need price to push back up. But you can see here, it's starting to be a little more obvious, right? So from the news price right here, you can see how price is ranging between the news price and the sessions right here. It's like super obvious now. See if there's any zones up here yet. Not quite. Yeah, so price hasn't gone anywhere. Once it broke into this range right here, it's pretty much been sitting within this range for the past, say almost 30 minutes now. Yeah, so for the past 30 minutes, price has just been going sideways right here down the middle. Not really anything to work with here at all. All right, guys. So looking at this here, I mean, there's not really much to work with. We got price climbing back up. If price climbs up high enough, then this could be opportunity for some market flow V2s. If you guys are looking to take it again, I wouldn't really recommend it because you guys can see here, there's not really much here to work with. But if you guys do want to take it, We do have a buy signal here. We have price pushing back above. And if price pulls back down to this area right here, that's where the entry is going to be right now. So it's going to be at the 900 level. If you are looking to take some market flow V2s. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but again, for those of you who want to take riskier trades, I did mark it up for you guys right there if you guys want to take a look at that. I mean, personally, I would just call it a week. It's not really worth the risk right now, guys. So going back to the data for this week, and for this month so far. So here are my stats for for the month. So basically, for this week so far, we took a trade on Monday, which was a win. We took a trade on Tuesday, which was a loss. And then we took a trade on Wednesday, which was a loss. So for this week so far, we have 1 win and 2 losses. That equates to a net loss of just 1 for this week so far, because Monday was a win, Tuesday was a loss. That was a break even. And then now Wednesday counted as a loss. So that was a negative loss for the week. Other than that, we didn't take any trades on Thursday. We didn't take any trades today. So it's pretty much flat. And these are the stats from this month so far. Last week, we had 4 wins and 1 loss. So that gave us a net 3 win. And these are the total stats for the month so far. So basically for this month so far, we took 7 trades. We have 5 wins, 2 losses. We have a total profit of 7,485. We have a total loss of 3,165. Our total gross profit was 4,320. Out of those 7 trades, we had a 71.43% win rate for the month of October so far. I paid $65.10 in commissions, and my total P&L is $4,254.90. So those are my profits so far for the month of October. Thanks to our risk off plan, I was able to avoid losses for this week. So the profit is $4,254.90. I have 26 accounts, so you multiply that by 26. And this is my profit for the month so far across my 20 Apex accounts, my 1 personal account, which is my own money, and then 5 of my Tradeify straight to funded accounts, which are already funded. So basically all funded accounts and then 1 personal account. These are my profits total for the month so far. So that's why I'm telling you guys that you don't have to trade every day, guys. Like for us, I was able to kind of minimize my risk for this week. And now this is how much profit I pretty much walked away with. This is net profit. Obviously the profit was a lot higher before I had the losses, but this is net profit, including the 2 losses from this week and the 1 loss from last week. The only strategy I've been taking is a breakout. I'm only taking 1 strategy per day, letting the trade run to full TP or full stop loss. And then once you add it up, this is pretty much where it's sitting right now. So that just gives you guys perspective. So the market flow V2 just hit right here, guys, if you guys took that. But yeah, I'm just putting things into perspective, guys, because I feel like a lot of people feel that they have the need to revenge trade and force trade and try to make all this profit in one day. I'm not really doing all of that. I'm basically making 1,500 per day, or I'm losing 1,500. The win rate is high enough where I'm able to really stack up profits that way. So I'm only taking 1 trade a day. You can see here for the entire month of October, I've only taken 7 trades, right? On usual, this would probably be 20 trades or 100 trades or something like that. I'm taking it very easy. I'm taking it super conservatively, and I'm playing my cards right, because I'm looking at this from the long-term perspective. I'm not looking to make a ton of money in one day. I'm looking to make a ton of money in the long term. So yeah, that's kind of what you'll see for probably from here until the end of the year. I'm just going to be taking the breakouts from now until the end of the year. I want to pull as much data as possible from it, and then I'm just going to I'm going to adapt to the market. So basically what I'll be doing is I'll be taking all the data. For example, we have the data from this month, right? So we have the data. We don't have too much data from the market breakout yet, momentum breakout. We have basically have almost a month data of the momentum breakout. And on top of that, I have 2 years of data right here, but I'm missing a couple months here. So I need to see how the October month plays out before I can really make any adjustments or changes to the strategy. But yeah, those are the stats so far. So pretty good profit for the month. And then tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but on Monday, I'll be back to taking the entries again. So the thing that I'm kind of concerned with, sorry guys, 1 second. So the thing that I'm kind of concerned with is now that I'm thinking, okay, is the market going to, does it typically win or lose on Mondays? Looking at the stats over here, for the most part, it looks like for the most part, it wins on Mondays. So looking at Monday here, win, win, win. I'm just looking to see if like Mondays, there's a loss right here. It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen sometimes. Um, Yeah, for the most part, it wins versus losing. So this is why it's important that I have all this data here. I have basically 2 years of trades of this breakout entry. So I kind of have an idea of like what to expect on Monday once we come back for market open. Yeah, so I'll be taking the entry on Monday. Just looking at the Monday entries over here, I'm kind of looking for a pattern. So for example, over here, you can see Thursday, Friday loss, Monday won. Monday won right here. I'm just kind of looking for a pattern here because if it tends to have like back-to-back losses from Thursday to Monday, then of course I would probably avoid taking the next Monday entry. But for the data here, it looks like it works out pretty fine for the most part. That's the only back-to-back loss from like Tuesday, Thursday that I saw, and then it hit on Monday. So I'll be looking to take the breakout this coming Monday, and then hopefully we can get back on track with our win rate here or our win streak. So we kind of had a bit of a toss up this week. You can see over here, these are the trades from this week. And I'm hoping pretty much every day for next week, hopefully be all green for all wins. So we'll be working towards that. But guys, if there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. There's no entries here for any market flows yet. Price is still kind of very high. The next entry for market flow is going to happen right here at the 960 mark. So price is pushing up right here, looking for that retracement back to this area here at the 960. That's going to be where the entry is going to be right here for market flow. If you are looking to take that entry, price finally broke out of this range here. So this is what I'll probably expect to happen. Price will probably go back into consolidation because what happens here is a breakout happens and then price goes sideways. Then a breakout happens again. Then what do you think happens here? Price goes sideways, right? So there's not really much of a consistency here. It's kind of been like this the whole week. If you guys have been trading with me for a while, you guys understand that this is normal. So this isn't something unusual. Typically, if NFP is like really good, like it was for us last week, we had a lot of wins, 4 back-to-back wins, or 5 back-to-back wins actually from Tuesday up until Monday. Whenever NFP happens like that, usually the following week is kind of choppy. And that's kind of what's happening here, right? We're in a choppy market. So we usually go from very good week to choppy week to good week to possibly choppy week. They usually fluctuate like that. Usually the good weeks don't come back to back. It's usually like one good week, one bad week, one good week, one bad week, or like bad week, bad week, good week, etc. Yeah, so I mean, we'll see what happens here. And that shows from our data too. So if you look at the data here as well on the spreadsheet, you can kind of see like how these weeks kind of play out. Like sometimes we'll have like a week where there's like no losses, and then we have a week where there's like a couple losses. And that's just kind of what happens here. Like for market flow over here, kind of went down a downward spiral here because market was choppy. If you look at the data over here, it shows that the market was like pretty choppy for this week. So you can see we had a good week, all wins. Then we had a couple losses right here. Then a bunch of wins, and then back to normal market conditions. So yeah, you just got to play it as it comes. But again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. There's just nothing happening over here. The entry is going to be way down here at the probably move it up a little higher now at the 70 mark, 970. Yeah, so if you guys are looking to take that there, sell signal just came up right there. So if that there closes, you're supposed to close out for a small profit. But it looks like right here that it's currently running. Full TP right there. All right, so another full TP right there for market flow. If you guys took the market flow, there was one down here for a full TP, and then there's one right here for a full TP. So you guys can see the market flow is still working and it's still hitting. The only problem with it is that it's not very consistent. Like the price movement is not consistent. So if you want to take these market flow entries, feel free. I'm going to mark them up for you as they come up. It's just you have to understand that these trades here are not very safe. So if you are going to take these, I would take these with lower risk. I would just get in and out very quickly with 10 points. Or again, if you want to go for the 15 points, like I said earlier, you guys can do that as well. It's just really up to your preference. I mean, they seem to hit. See right there, if you went for 15 points, still would have hit. It's just up to your preference. Everybody has a preference. Some people want to get in and out very quickly. For me, I want to guarantee my win, so I just usually go for the 10 points. So like I was saying before, guys, with the because we had a question about the consistency happening. I think Vimal even asked for it. I don't know if he's here right now. But Vimal was asking, he said if it will be an issue if you move your stop loss to break even and you get stopped out. Yeah, of course it's going to be an issue because it's going to mess with your consistency. The thing with the consistency is that it's end of day. So in order for you to be in the positive with consistency, you got to have at least like 2 wins per day. So if you're going to do these 10-30 splits, make sure to take at least 2 trades a day that are going to hit, right? If you take 2 trades a day, you're going to be good because you'll have 20 points TP. And then if you ever lose a trade, you'll be down 30 points. So that's going to be like, the consistency is going to be pretty high. The only thing with the 10-30 is so here's where it becomes a problem. If you're doing 10-30 splits and you're only taking like 1 trade a day, that's where it's going to be a bit of an issue. Because if you take these trades and then you lose a trade, it's going to really cut into your consistency. So just keep that in mind, guys, when you guys are looking to take, these scalps. These scalps are meant to be taken multiple times, not just once a day. You're supposed to take them like a couple times, at least like 2 or 3. So that if you ever do have a loss, your consistency is not going to be all screwed up because you'll have profits that kind of show for it. Let's see, CJ is asking, do you think next week will be more directional? Well, I hope so. I mean, I wish it was that easy to really predict how the market's going to move next week, but I hope so, CJ, of course, yeah. So if you were to ask me that, my opinion would always be yes, because that's kind of what we expect from the historical data, but I don't want to jinx it, and we don't know for sure if it's going to happen, right? It's really, I mean, that's really what trading is about. It's like not really knowing what's going to happen next, but having an idea of what's going to happen next. So I'm hoping next week's going to be directional, but I can't say for sure. Let's check the calendar real quick. So I think we did have some news for next week. All right, so we got Monday, we have Fed speakers just speaking pretty much all day, no actual news. Tuesday, we have New York Empire State Manufacturing Index at 5:30 pre-market. It's high impact. I don't think it's going to affect the market too much, but it's there. Wednesday is a slow day. Thursday is a lot of news on Thursday, high impact. We have initial jobless claims 4-week average, continuing jobless claims, retail sales auto, year-over-year retail sales, and auto month-over-month. So Thursday, we have some high impact news. And then Friday, we have building permits, which this is probably going to be the biggest news event for the week, building permits. So yeah, looking at the news over here, CJ, it looks like we're probably going to have a directional market because there's nothing happening on Monday. So I think what will happen is it's going to be like a slow staircase climb day for the first couple days next week. I think what will happen is we'll have a directional push, but it's going to be very slow. It's going to be something like this, right? You've seen this before. The reason why I think it's going to move like this is because there's no news happening that day. So we're probably gonna have like a slow climb, something like that, or a slow drop. It's gonna be slow movement like that in a direction. I don't think it's gonna be something super smooth. where it's going to be moving like this because there's not really much happening to push price like that. But then again, I could be wrong, right? We can come back to the market on Monday, and then there could be a full-blown war going on with Israel and in the Middle East, right? I can't say for sure because there's a lot of stuff that can happen over the weekend. Uh, so I expect it to be directional, but a slow directional move. However, whatever happens over the weekend will kind of dictate how the market opens on Monday. And I'll let you guys know if that happens. I have a subscription to Bloomberg, so I follow the Bloomberg news like pretty much every morning. I usually look at it before the market opens. So yeah, on Monday market open, I'll be on for the live session, of course, and I'll give you guys a heads up if anything does happen around the world. Because there's things happening, right? We have election season. I think this year election season is not really going to be much of a factor. It's just going to be something that happens because it has to happen, but it's not going to be a huge factor like it was when Trump was first running, right? Because when Trump was first running, they were campaigning super hard. Um, I think the field is kind of balanced right now. Initially, it was all about Trump, that Trump was like for sure going to win. I think now it's a little more balanced because Kamala has had more money for campaigning. So it's gonna be an interesting election. I already got my vote in, so hopefully all of you guys have voted as well, or you guys are going to be voting. Did my mail-in ballot already, so good to go with my votes. And election day is here. Let's see. It's November 11th, I think. 2024. And we have all the other stuff happening around the world too. So we have all the hurricanes happening on the East Coast. Yeah, election day is November 5th. So it's actually coming up pretty soon. It's coming up pretty soon. Yeah, we've got election day over here on November 5th. So I guess we will see what happens there. Barack said, I'm really struggling to not comment about the next president. Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's hard. At this point, I'm like, whatever. Whoever wins, wins. It's either way, we're fucked. That's an easy way to put it. It doesn't really matter. Um, either way, it's like we don't really have control over what happens. I think whoever wins, it's still going to be there's going to be pros and cons on both sides of it. So, I mean, I've made my vote, but we'll see what actually happens election day because it really is a toss up now. Like, I think everyone thought Trump had it like in the bag, but I don't know. Looking at the polls, I don't know. All right, so there's another entry right here for market flow V2, guys. Looks like it probably filled already. I'm not sure if it filled or if it almost triggered it, but yeah, Barack said, but I can say I'm more confident with a Trump presidency than Kamala. Sam said better off with Trump. Yeah. No, I think a lot of people would agree with you. Even the non-Trump supporters, right? I think a lot of people who aren't even Republican or even a Trump supporter, they're still not voting for Kamala. The thing with Kamala, and I don't like getting too political to you guys, but if you guys have been following the presidency for like the past 4 years with Biden, Kamala wasn't even in the picture. Like that's like the crazy thing because I've never seen a presidency where the vice president hasn't been in the picture, right? Um, and she has all these plans of like changing things, but it's like you were the VP for 4 years and you did nothing, like literally nothing. And now you want to say you're going to do something because you want to run for president. So it just doesn't fly with me. All right, market flow V2 right here just hit full TP, guys, if you guys took that. So again, if you guys want to take these entries, they're coming up, but they're just not very smooth and they're not very, what I'd say, trustworthy. But yeah, back to the presidency. I don't really have an opinion. Obviously, I don't, there's going to be some changes depending on who becomes president, but I don't think it's going to have a big impact on the market. What I really care about is the impact on the market, right? That's going to be the biggest thing for me. The biggest thing is like, how is this presidency going to impact the market? Is it going to make the market more volatile or is it going to make the market more slow? I think if Kamala wins, the market's going to stay slow. So that's not good for us. I don't really care who's going to be president. I care what's going to happen to the market for us. So if Kamala becomes president, I think we're going to have a slow market. If you guys have been trading with us for a while now, this whole Biden presidency, the market's been pretty trash for the most part. It's been a lot slower than it has prior. When Trump was president, market was all over the place. It was moving up, it was moving down, it was moving everywhere, and it was easy to take trades because we had volatility. As soon as Biden became president, it affected the market pretty heavy. Like if you guys traded with me during the summer market was like really, really slow. So I don't care who's gonna be president with regard to policy. I mean, obviously policy is going to affect us, but for the most part, I want a president that's going to wake up the market because that's really where it affects us, right? Like we don't really have control over policy. So it doesn't really matter to me with regard to what policy they pass. But what I care about is the market being volatile because this is where it messes with our profitability for the year. So we'll see. I mean, whoever's president, we'll see what happens over the next 4 years. Hopefully, it shakes up the market, and then we have some more smooth market to trade in. Like this market, for example, right? The market here is so slow today. We're like in the middle of October almost. The market should be moving. Like it is moving here, but then it kind of just dies out. And so you guys can see the movement that happened right here on open. This is a reason why I like taking the breakout versus taking the regular scalps now, because once the breakout has happened, then the market here kind of just fades out, goes sideways, might have a little bit of a push, and then it fades out again. So it's another reason. There's just a lot of reasons why I tend to fall back to breakouts, and it's mainly because that's where the volatility is, and that's where you can take most of your entries. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any more questions, feel free to hop into the chat. Otherwise, there's just not really much here going on in the market. Today's Friday, so I would probably just recommend you guys call it a week. This week hasn't been too great overall with regard to market movement, market volatility, market direction. It's just one of those weeks where the market just has to cool off a little bit after having such a great week last week. So yeah, CJ said facts. I'm not a Trump fan, but it's irritating to hear her blame him for everything that's going on. Like, lady, you and Biden are in office right now, and you're whining about things that you were in the position to change. Yeah, I agree with you too, CJ, 100%. Was it you that mentioned that before? I think it was you that mentioned that when I was like, what's Kamala been doing this whole presidency? And I think it was you that said she was in the inner city neighborhoods teaching kids how to Dougie. That's basically all she was doing the whole presidency. It's crazy. I know, but it's true. It really is true. She was trying really hard to connect with like, inner city, but I mean, she didn't really do anything. It's funny that you mentioned that because you mentioned that, and I looked it up, and that really was what she was doing. There's like so many videos of her trying to Dougie with the kids in like with the city. It's like, man, that's our VP right there. All right, guys, if you guys have any more questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, volatility here is pretty low for the most part. ATR is currently at 20, so it's not super flat, but it is pretty low for the most part. Sam said she can have the yellow buses and drive off. Yeah, exactly. Just find a position with what's this say? Will said no BB3 for the day at this point. See you all next week. Yeah, so even Will over here. So Will even mentioned that there hasn't been a BV3 that happened this whole day. It's that's how the market's not really doing much. Like typically there should be at least one BV3 that's happened. It's where the market's been open for about an hour now. There hasn't been really much happening here. So Will is signing off for the week. We'll see you back here on Monday, William. Yeah, there's just nothing here to really work with, guys. Unfortunately, this is just how the week played out. So looking at this here, if market doesn't come back down, and I'll go on the higher time frame, there's a lot of liquidity sitting below here. So something that you can maybe look out for is the bearish moves next week, because we have a ton of liquidity sitting down here that hasn't been triggered. This liquidity is still going to be sitting here next week. Are we getting close to the all-time high? Let me check. Are we at the all-time high? No. I think we are at the all-time high, right? Or I don't know, I could be wrong. Maybe that's why the market's so flat right now, because we're already at the yeah, okay, yeah. So CJ said, yeah, we broke the all-time high. So yeah, I'm not really expecting much to happen here. That's probably why the volatility here kind of died out a little bit because we did break the all-time high when price pushed above here. So at this point, not really expecting too much to happen here. Let's go to CNBC. Any updates here? Yeah, there's not really any updates. Nothing here on Bloomberg. Perfect. Saw this right now. So JP Morgan post a prize N2 gain raises key revenue venue view. Okay. I have a lot of stocks in JP Morgan, so this is a good sign because they're they released their earnings today. So I'm gonna check out my investment accounts. Let's see that actually. I was expecting it to be bullish, but you can never be so sure, especially in a market. Okay. Went up pretty decent. So went up 4.51%. I'm up about 3,000 in my investment accounts for the day. So looks like I did make money today, even though I didn't take any trades. But yeah, the investment accounts are all green. So that looks good. Let's see. CJ is asking, all right, Joe, we'll see you back here on Monday. Yeah, Joe said, see you all on Monday. Have a safe weekend. Definitely. We'll see you then. CJ is asking is, will it take the BB3 for a 30-30 or 25-25? Let's check. I think he posted a screenshot of his trades over here. So looking at this, it looks like, hmm, okay. So it looks like he goes for 25-25. So he does a little both. Looks like he kind of switches between. Uh, so it says right here he went for 21-25. I think he moved his stop loss and profit or something, or he moved his TP closer. And he said here that 30. So I think he switches between the both. I think it just depends on how the market's moving. Because right here, it looks like he does a 15-30 or 15-25. So it looks like he normally does a 15-25 for the smaller scalps. And then for the bigger ones, he goes for like a 30-30. It just kind of depends on like what he's feeling at the time. So yeah, it looks like he doesn't use a 10-30. He uses a 15-25. And then for the bigger moves, he goes 30-30. Oh, Will's still here. Hey, what's up, Will? I didn't realize William was still here. Yeah, Will said that example right there was cut short early because of the sessions. Okay, now that makes sense now. Yeah, so he cut it short because of the sessions, which I agree with him 100%. You know, if price has to cut into the sessions, it's better to put your TP where the sessions is at or right below it so that you can get out. So yeah, no, definitely will. Yeah, I think it's best to kind of play by ear. It's good to have like a set TP stop loss that's like your go-to, but for the most part, it's good to play by ear, especially if you're trading around the sessions. Again, there's still nothing going on here, guys. Price is kind of just going back and forth within this area, and yeah, there's not really much to work with here. So the range is now up here, and it's now a little tighter. So here is the range here, currently sitting around the all-time high. All right, guys. I think this is time to wrap it up. There's just nothing for us to take here. I don't want to force you. I don't you guys to. Well, obviously, I wouldn't force you guys to take any trades, but I don't want you guys to feel forced to take anything here because you're like feeling that you need to do something because you're sitting around waiting for an entry. I think it's best to just wrap it up for the week. There's nothing going on here. Price is just going sideways. We're at the all-time high, so this is kind of tricky to be because a breakout's going to happen eventually. So price might just sit around here for a while, and then eventually price is probably going to break out to the bottom or to the top. My guess is that price is going to swing back down, and then it's probably going to pull back into this range. So this is kind of what I see happening here. Price might just kind of go sideways for a bit. Eventually, it'll probably break out down here and then go sideways for a bit and then maybe come back up. That's the same pattern that's been happening here. So you can see the pattern is pretty clear. Broke out sideways for a pretty long time, like about an hour, 30 minutes, comes back up sideways. And I wouldn't be surprised if it comes back down and then goes back sideways. So I think it's best to just wrap it up. So guys, if you guys have any more questions, feel free to reach out. If you guys have profits to post up, feel free to send them in. I don't think many people take any trades today, so there's not really much to show. Again, here are my stats for October so far. If you guys missed it earlier, we're currently at 1 net loss for the week, October week 2, 3 net wins for the month of October, total profit of 4,254. I have 26 accounts. That's my total profit for the month so far right now, including the losses. And we're doing pretty well. So probably come back next week fresh. I'll take the breakout on Monday. Hopefully that one kind of plays through like we're expecting. Otherwise, we'll play it day by day. Yeah, Brock said this will be a back testing weekend for him. He needs some criteria like the one I have when not to trade after a losing streak. It's brilliant. You've avoided 2 losses so far yesterday and today. Yeah, no, exactly. I think that I feel great that we avoided the 2 losses from yesterday and today because normally we would have taken those trades and it would have ended horribly, right? But from the data that I was able to pull, I was able to avoid those trades and completely revamp the way that we're making profits. Because now instead of like catching up, like for example, if we lost a trade yesterday and today, we'd be catching up all next week, right? But because I was able to avoid yesterday and today's loss, then we're pretty much in the clear for Monday. So all I need to do is make a win on Monday, and then we'll be back in net profit for this week. And then every win after that will be even more profit on top of that. So it's really just understanding risk, guys. When people talk about risk management, it's not necessarily your contract size and it's not necessarily your TP and stop loss. Risk management is understanding when not to trade when the market's not moving in your favor. Right now, the market's not moving in our favor. So this is a good time to just not trade. And I'm glad that we have the risk plan because I was able to not trade yesterday and today. So instead of taking 2 losses yesterday and today, it's 0 losses. And then I go into Monday feeling great. And then hopefully I'll take that trade on Monday, it'll win, and then we'll be back on our win streak for the rest of the month. So yeah, exactly. CJ City. I'm glad we set out yesterday and today because payout request day is coming up. Exactly, right? And that's why I'm kind of chilling right now because I'm trying to get to that point where I can request the max payouts pretty much through the accounts. So yeah, just got to be smart about your entries and we'll come back next week fresh and we'll take it on for another week of breakouts. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for this week. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. I can be reached on Discord. Otherwise, if you guys have any other questions, feel free to pop into the chat and I'm sure anybody in the group will be willing to answer your question. So, all right, guys, have